Second Chronicles continues the story begun in First Chronicles, focusing on the kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom from Solomon to the Babylonian captivity. While First and Second Kings record both Israel and Judah, Second Chronicles traces the line of David's descendants, emphasizing the temple worship revival and decline. So the book divides into two main sections. Chapters 1 through 9, that's the reign of Solomon. Chapters 10 through 36, that's the kings of Judah. So it begins with Solomon's wisdom and wealth. He builds the temple in Jerusalem, magnificent, fulfilling what David had prepared. When the ark's brought in, God's glory fills the house. 2 Chronicles 7 verse 1 and 2 says, Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the house. And the priests could not enter into the house of the Lord because the glory of the Lord had filled the Lord's house. So God appears to Solomon, promising blessing for obedience and judgment for idolatry. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. After Solomon's death, the kingdom divides. But 2 Chronicles focuses only on Judah, showing how each king's obedience or rebellion affected the nation's spiritual health. So there are times of revival under Asa, Jehoshaphat, Joash, Hezekiah, and Josiah when idols were destroyed and the law restored. Yet between each revival came backsliding, pride, idolatry. The northern kingdom is barely mentioned, emphasizing that God's covenant promise to David remains with Judah. So in the later chapters, Hezekiah trusts God against Assyria, and Josiah repairs the temple and rediscovers the book of the law. But after Josiah's death, the nation plunges into corruption once more. God sends the prophets to warn them, but they refuse. 2 Chronicles 36, 15 and 16 says, And the Lord God of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up at times and sinning, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of God and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord rose against his people, till there was no remedy. So Jerusalem's destroyed, the temple burned, the people carried captive to Babylon. Yet the book ends with hope. Cyrus's decree allowing them to return and rebuild. So 2 Chronicles is a mirror of every generation. Revival or ruin depends on whether we humble ourselves before God. It points forward to the perfect Son of David, Jesus Christ, who will one day reign in righteousness forever.